Hey guys, welcome back to Coding Stuff, and in this video we're gonna learn how we can observe status of our GPS, or how we can listen to its state change with the help of live data. And if it's off, we're gonna turn it on. So we all know what GPS is and what it is capable of. So commonly we use GPS to track users location. So yeah, let's start with the coding part. So I have prepared this empty project. It has nothing now. So first thing that we will do, we'll remove this text view and we'll add nothing here. We'll go to the resources and the values. I'm gonna change this dark action bar to no action bar. Cool. And we don't need activity main. We'll be playing with the code only. So yeah, first of all I'm gonna create one class which will be Kotlin class. I'll name it as GPS status listener. Alright, and this class will inherit from LiveData, which will be of type boolean. Cool. So in Android, in order to listen to system events or intent, we use broadcast receiver, and this GPS is again a system event. It's turning on and off its system event. So there are two ways to use broadcast receiver. We can implement it, or we can define it in our manifest file, or we can define it in the class. So we'll be doing it in this GPS status listener class. So okay, first of all, what we'll do, we'll create one private val. We'll name it as a GPS status receiver, and this will be equals to object of type broadcast receiver, and we need to implement its method, which is on receive. So we'll click on this, I'll press alt enter, implement methods and on receive. And in this on receive, I'll call one function which will be check GPS status. Alright, so we'll create that function over here, private fun check GPS status, and this will be equals to if is location enable. We'll create this function in a second. So if the is location enable returns us true, we'll post the value. As we are using live data here, we are inheriting from live data, we can directly post values to it. So we'll post true, else we'll use post value false. Okay, so let's just create this function which will be private one is location enable. So in this is location enable, we'll need one parameter which will be context to get system services. So I'll be passing context over here. So inside the is location enable, what we can do, instead of doing this, we can try Kotlin way. So I'll remove this, and here I'll write context, not content, it should be context. Okay, we need to make it val, so I can make it private val context dot get system services, this one, and here we need to pass location manager, this one coming from Android locations class.java, and then I can just write, we have one function here which is provider enable, and in this we need to pass location manager dot GPS provider, as we want to check the GPS availability. There are multiple providers as well, such as network provider, but we'll be needing this GPS provider only. Okay, so our receiver is done. We are checking if the GPS status is enabled. So we are posting the values based on this is location enable into the live data as well. So now we need to register this GPS status receiver. So for that we'll create another function which will be private one register receiver, and this will be equals to context dot register receiver, and we'll pass GPS status receiver, and we need to also pass the intent filter with that. So intent filter, and this will pass location manager. Let me just collapse the project view. So location manager dot provider change action, as we want to receive events when the provider is changed. Alright, and similarly we'll create another function to unregister this receiver. So unregister receiver, and this will be equals to context dot unregister receiver. We just need to pass this GPS status receiver. So yeah, everything is done. Now we are remaining with calling this function and calling this. We are just remaining with the registering and unregistering our broadcast receiver. So for that we get a few functions from the LiveData on active and on inactive. So I'm gonna remove this super call from here, and I'll call register receiver, and after that I'll call this function check GPS status as well. I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna call unregister receiver. Alright, so this class is done. Now we'll jump to the main activity, and here we'll create val GPS status listener. This will be equals to GPS status listener. We'll pass this parameter here, and then we'll listen to its changes. So GPS status listener dot observe, we'll pass this, and as you receive here it, we'll name it as is GPS on. Cool. Then there will be two conditions: if is GPS is on or if it is not on. So here we need to turn it on, so turn on GPS. Alright, so for now we can just display one toast here. So toast dot make text, and we'll pass this context here, then the message GPS is on, then the length, so toast length short, and then we can call dot show. Alright, then I'll copy this line, I'll paste it here, and this will be location is off. So now in order to check our GPS status listener is working fine or not, we'll run the app and we'll see it's working or not. So as you can see, our app has been installed, and now what I'll do, I'll just turn off the location, and you can see GPS is off, and GPS is off again. That is expected behavior from the on receive function of broadcast receiver. GPS is on, GPS is on, and GPS is on. Okay, so this on receive callback of broadcast receiver, this triggers so many times because there are many location providers, so that's why it triggers 2-3 times. We'll handle it. So we can manually fix this behavior. We can write our logic here, or we can write our logic here. Both are the same things, and it depends on how you think. Okay, so for this particular video I'm gonna create one variable here which will be val, or I'll make it var is GPS status changed, and this will be boolean. I'll make it nullable. Cool. And first of all I'll check if this is GPS status change, is this equals to null, and also I'll have else here. So if this GPS status change is null, so what I'll do, I'll cut this line from here, I'll paste it here, and I'll paste it here as well. And here what I'll do, I'll make is GPS status change equals to is GPS on. Alright, and in the else condition what I will do, if is GPS status change is not equals to is GPS on. That really means that status has been changed. So I'll paste these lines over here and I'll assign the value is GPS status change equals to is GPS on. Alright, so let's try to run the app again, and I guess that will be fixed. So again our app is installed and as you can see GPS is on. So now I'll turn it off. So GPS is off only once. Right, again I'll turn it on, GPS is on. So yeah, this is working. Alright, so let's just minimize it. So this was just a simple logic. You can do this in this on receive function as well. So now we successfully observed and listened to GPS status. So now if the GPS is off, we need to turn it on. So let's do it. So now we want to turn on the GPS. So for that purpose, first of all, what I'll do, I'll create one private val result launchers. So private val result launcher. So before we used to implement on activity results, but as it is deprecated, we'll be using result launcher, and this will be equals to register for activity results. And in this I'll pass activity result contracts. Okay, this one dot start intent sender for result, this one, and then here we get activity results. So I can just name it as activity result. Cool. And we can check this with if activity result code is equals to result okay, this one, and else we can have else if here. So else if activity results result code is equals to result cancelled, put it in a caps lock, so result cancelled. Cool. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this toast, I'll paste it over here, and instead of GPS is off, we'll write request is cancelled. Cool. So now we don't want to display this GPS toast, it is on or off. We just want to turn it on when it is off. So I'll just delete this stuff here. That was just to check if this listener was working or not. So here what I will do, here I can write if not equal to is GPS on, then turn on the GPS, and in here if not equals to is GPS on, again turn on GPS. So yeah, so to turn on the GPS, what we will do, we have this result launchers, we'll create another class, as we'll name it as turn on GPS. So turn on GPS, and similarly we'll pass context here. So private val context of type context. Cool. And here we'll create one function which will be turn on GPS, or we can just name it as a start GPS, as we have the class name as a turn on GPS. And in this we need to pass the activity result launcher. So result launcher, I'll name it as a result launcher, and this will be of type activity result launcher. And in this we need to pass intent send a request, this one. So in order to turn on the GPS, what we need to do, we need to request for, so we need to ask for location request that we want location of the user, and for that purpose we need GPS. So what I will do, I'll create one dummy request for that. So let's just open your browser and search for Google Play Services location dependency, and I'll go to this link, Maven repository, as all the dependencies, Google dependencies, are on the Maven. So what I'll do, I'll click on this latest version and select this Gradle short. I'll copy this. I'll go to the Android and I'll open the build.gradle app level and I'll paste that dependency over here and I'll click on sync now. So it has been synced. Now I'll go to the turn on GPS class and inside the function start GPS, here I'll create one location request. So location request, this will be equals to location request, and make sure you import this from com.and and google.android gms location. So location request dot builder, we'll pass some priority here. So priority, let's pass anything here. So I'll pass balance power accuracy. In order to get more accuracy, you should always pass priority high accuracy, this one, and then we can pass the interval. So I'll pass 3000 milliseconds. Then we can just call for build, or so if you want to fetch location based on the distance and all that, you can set some properties. Set minimum update distance in meter, and this receive floats 5 meters or 3 meters, whatever you want to write here. Or to keep it simple, I'm just gonna delete this line and I'm just gonna build it with this interval, right? So in the next line, what I'll do, I need to create one builder. So val builder location setting request dot builder, and we need to import this location setting request, again coming from this play services dependency. Then we need to add location request here. So add location request, and we can pass our location request that we just created, and then we'll create one task. So val task, this will be equals to location services. Again, suggestions are not coming, so make sure you write it as it is. So location services dot get setting client, and in this we'll pass the context dot check location setting. So check location setting builder dot build, I need to pass this builder over here. So what we have done here, we have just created one request and we add it to the location setting request, and then in this task what we are doing, we are asking for locations to our Android system, and based on that it will check if the GPS is on or not. So if the GPS is off, it will ask user to turn on the GPS. So then there are two possibilities, user can turn it on or he cannot. So for that callback, what we can do with this task, we get few listeners which are add-on cancel, add-on complete, add-on success, and add-on failure. So you can play with all this, but for me I want this add-on failure listener, as our topic is just to turn on the GPS if it is off. So when the GPS is off, this add-on failure listener will get triggered, and what we can do here, we'll get exception over here. Then we can check if this it is resolvable exception, resolvable API exception, because I have spelled it right. Cool. So if it is if this exception is resolvable API exception, then we can ask Android system to turn on the GPS. Alright, so for that I'll do it in the try and catch. So try catch. So in the catch block, we'll get one exception. So exception, and this will be intent sender dot send intent exception. We can just log this, so log I or log e and exception dot message. Cool. We can create one tag over here, so I'll write log t. Cool. Okay, so in try, what we need to do, we'll create one val which will be intent sender request. This one, this will be equals to intent sender request dot capital B builder, and we need to pass this exception, so it dot resolutions and dot build, and then we'll use this result launchers in order to launch our results from this intent send request. So result launchers dot launch intent sender request. All right, so this is done, I guess. Let's just go to the main activity again, and over here what we can do, we'll create another object for our turn on GPS. So turn on GPS, this will be equals to turn on GPS. We need to pass context, so I'll pass this. So in here we need to call that function, so turn on GPS, and we need to pass the result launchers. Turn on GPS dot start GPS, I guess. Yes, I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. So I guess everything is done. Let's just try to run the app again. So it is installed. Let me just minimize this logcat, and what I will do, I'll turn off the GPS, and as you can see, we got one dialog which says, for a better experience, turn on device location, which uses Google's location service. Okay, so we can click on no thanks, and you can see request is cancelled. Let me turn it on again. So GPS has been turned on, and let me turn it off again. So as you can see, for better, again we got that dialog. So now I'll click on OK, and you can see GPS is on. So yeah, you can monitor the GPS status this way, and again you can modify whatever you want here. You can play with the messages, and you can play with this result codes, and you can also play with this add-on success and complete listeners as well. So you can also do this in the main activity or in any activity, but in order to create some separation that you can use this function in other activities, I have created separately. So yeah, that was it, and I'll put source code in the description box, so if you have some errors you can check with that. So yeah, that's it. Do subscribe, and thank you for watching.